Heyo, and what is up, gang? Thank you once again for joining us here today. WWE put on Great Balls of Fire, live from Dallas, Texas tonight. And, God, this show just absolutely sucked. Great Balls of Fire, more like a case of blue balls. And we are going to talk about it right here and right now on your favorite new wrestling show, the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show. Let's do it.
The Sledgehammer Wrestling Show.
Alright, gang, thank you once again for joining us here tonight. This is going to be a hard one to get through because I barely even know what the fuck to say. And who am I? If you don't already know that by now, you haven't been watching. I am your host, Nick Nightmare. As always, this is my buddy Blue the Snowball Microphone bringing me to you True Blue. And the only thing true about tonight's show is that it was a fucking disaster. It was an absolute 3-hour waste of my time. And, you know, I wore this shirt today. I got home from work, and I cleaned myself up, I freshened up, I got nice and crispy. Was going to enjoy a little Taco Bell for dinner, anticipating tonight's pay-per-view. And I wore this shirt because I thought I was going to be proud of Brock Lesnar tonight. But I am not. And we're going to get to that a little bit later. I'm going to kick things off with this review of Blue Balls of Boredom, because there was nothing fire about this show. There was nothing great about this show. This show was fucking ridiculous. There was no pyro throughout the whole entire night. You're calling it Great Balls of Fire. There was not one fucking explosion all night. Did anybody else notice that besides me? I don't know. Am I picking into it too much? I don't know. I don't think so. This was absolutely one of the worst fucking shows I've ever had to sit through. This was worse than your average Monday Night Raw, and that's fucking bad. That is bad. There was one moment of the show. One. And I wouldn't even call it a moment. I mean, the women's title match, alright. It was okay. Everything else was just a long, boring trip that I would have much rather taken my eyes and raked them through a fucking cheese grater than to have to sit through this match. You know, I woke up this morning unusually early. And I don't know why that was, but I've been up since 5 a.m. And it was all I could do to get myself to the Samoa Joe Brock Lesnar match. That was the only thing I wanted to see. I've been anticipating it for weeks. If you've been watching me on the channel, you know how excited I was for this match. And I don't have a problem so much with who won the match, but I have a problem with the match in and of itself. And I can't wait till later on to talk about it. We're going to start off with that, because the fact that they only gave this match about 6 minutes makes Samoa Joe look like nothing. Makes him look like what? What is next now for Samoa Joe after being so easily beaten by the Beast Brock Lesnar? I had such high hopes. Now listen, it's not about the fact that Joe lost. I could have accepted Joe losing if you would have given me a 20-minute absolute beat him down, smash him up, brawl between these two guys. An absolute battle. A wrestling classic where both men would gain the momentum and then swings to the other guy, and then now Joe is on top, and then Brock comes back, and then Joe is on top, and then Brock's come back. You can't do that within a span of 6 minutes. You need to allow the match time to breathe and time to organically come together and not have Joe come out at the beginning before the bell even sounds, of course, and make him look like a fucking beast and put Brock Lesnar through a table and just absolutely decimate the champ, only to have him 6 minutes later hit him with an F5 out of nowhere and the match is just over. It's a disrespectful thing that they did to Samoa Joe. All the build for that character, you could hear it in the crowd when the man was coming out. The man is over as fuck. All you heard throughout the night was Joe, Joe, Joe. There were, of course, Brock Lesnar fans. To be fair to the crowd, this was the one time within this short amount of time, I have not heard a crowd respond to a match on a WWE program the way this match was received in a long time. And the fact that they don't see that, I mean, at least I hope, maybe I'm jumping too far ahead of things, maybe like we did with the Goldberg thing. Maybe this is just the seed. You know, maybe Brock Lesnar dispatches of Joe, and now Joe will get a rematch for SummerSlam. Maybe a submission match. Maybe they'll put all 4 of these guys together, their main event guys, as some of my compatriots has suggested, and have a fatal 4-way between Braun, Roman, and Brock and Joe at SummerSlam. That would be a huge match. I'd be down to see that. Although, I don't know after tonight if I really want to see much more fucking Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar. That was an absolute embarrassment. Embarrassment to the world of pro wrestling. That segment alone makes me want to crown New Japan Pro Wrestling the absolute champions of professional wrestling. The undisputed kings of putting on pro wrestling. After being treated to 2 nights of absolutely fantastic wrestling put on at the G1 Climax this past weekend. This show was a fucking joke. The WWE will be looked at as a laughingstock. If you take one show and compare it to the other, it's apples and rotten oranges. And in case you didn't know, Raw was the rotten orange. Maybe I should have made them the rotten apple since it was red. But we're not going to cut into semantics here. That whole shit with the ambulance was fucking nonsense. Absolute, overproduced garbage. And then, on top of the fact that Roman Reigns just tried to kill a guy, we have an impromptu match put on by the GM. For what fucking reason? Because he wanted to have something go on while they were trying to attend to Braun Strowman in the back? What's the logic there? I had to sit through a few minutes of, at least, Heath Slater versus Kurt Hawkins. I was going to say Curtis Axel, but he's another fucking story that we'll get to later. For what? What was the point of that? And then to even have that take place and then not show us at home the wrestling. There's wrestling going on in the ring, but we're going to focus on watching some phony firemen with the fake jaws of life try to pry open a door that they could open by pulling the handle because it's not really fucking stuck. And here's some logic. Why not just move the truck? Why not just get behind the fucking wheel and drive the ambulance forward a little bit and get through the back, which is bashed wide the fuck open to get to Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman crawls out of this fucking ambulance, walking around like Frankenstein. We got Roman Reigns breathing heavy, coming out of the driver's pit like he's all hurt. And then they have to show it to us in slow motion. Slow motion, Roman Reigns walking and breathing. Slow motion, Braun Strowman bleeding across the side of the thing. Get out of here. Not that I give a shit about Slater versus Hawkins, but why didn't I get to see Finn Balor versus Elias Sampson on this show? Huh? You didn't have room for them, but you had room for this shit? You dedicated over 20 minutes to CSI Miami fucking bullshit drama that you can't do anywhere near as well as a CSI episode. This was fucking bullshit. What was that? I even tweeted out on Twitter, am I having a stroke or is this really happening? I thought maybe my brain had finally fizzed out from being up so early and having to sit through 3 hours of fucking absolute dreck. I don't understand what is happening. What was the point of that? They are so obsessed with getting both of these guys over that they dedicated over 1 hour of this fucking balls pay-per-view, which is all it was. It was a big set of hairy, stinking balls, to this ambulance segment. The match wasn't even that good. It was slow and boring. These guys made me look stupid because coming into this, if you watch my preview and predictions, I was actually giving them credit, and I was almost kind of looking forward to this match because I, like a fool, stated out loud that Roman and Strowman have great chemistry, and this should be a good match, and it should be interesting. But I take a lot of exception to the fact that Braun Strowman didn't even put Roman Reigns in the fucking ambulance to win this match. He put himself in the ambulance. He beat himself. Braun Strowman didn't even beat Roman Reigns. They are so obsessed with him looking great that they didn't even allow his opponent to put him in the ambulance. Which he's already done, by the way. We've already seen that happen. We've already seen almost every spot happen in this ambulance match in the last few weeks on Raw. So what was the fucking point of this match? And Roman Reigns, the good guy, attempts murder, or crashes a human being in the back of an ambulance by smashing it into the back of another truck. And this is something that a good guy does? That's not how you have a face turn, for sure. Heel turn, rather. He's not turned heel after that. Roman Reigns is driving people into other vehicles within a moving vehicle, and he's the good guy. And I just don't understand. None of this makes logical sense. As usual, it just was absolute fucking boredom. Just boredom. There was nothing to it. There was nothing behind it. All I can hope that comes out of any of this is that it's put to an end. I don't know if I want to see them fight each other anymore. And I think it was Corey Graves that made the point, well, these guys have gotten to the point where they can't be in the same building with one another, let alone be in the same match. So maybe that's a precursor to things to come. Maybe SummerSlam will have Roman versus Strowman for the last time, and the loser gets to go to SmackDown. That would be a great resolve for all of this. The rest of this was just, it's fried my brain, and I'm so fucking overtired that it just... Maybe I'm being too harsh. I don't know. You guys let me know. Hit me up in the comments. You let me know if you agree with what I'm saying. Maybe I'm being too overly critical. Maybe I need to watch it again. But I'm telling you, all that time wasted, and then you give Joe and Lesnar 5 minutes. 5 minutes. All right, they went over the 11 o'clock hour by what? 2 minutes? The show was over by 11:02, and I'm watching fucking Talking Smack before I even know it. That match should have been given a lot more time, regardless where they go with it. Hopefully, Lesnar and Joe go somewhere else with this, because there was magic in that match. I didn't feel an ounce of excitement in my blood until 10:58 p.m. when that match got kicked off, and Joe just started fucking rampaging against Brock. That was the first time all night I was in. I was like, all right, here we go. Great balls of fire. Let's do it. Sing the song. Let's get this going. And then it was just a thud. Just a big thud. And it comes off like a squash of Samoa Joe. And I fucking hate it. And the ambulance match and all that wasted time on unnecessary drama. I fucking hated it. And it made this pay-per-view so bad. Because those were the only two matches that gave this pay-per-view any hope. And the fact that the only bright spot of the night was the match between Alexa Bliss and Sasha Banks is a fucking travesty. It's a travesty. First ever Great Balls of Fire. It better have been the last. Do you realize we could have been having King of the Ring right now at this time of year? We should be having King of the Ring. But instead, we get big, hot, smoldering balls of nonsense. It's fucking ridiculous. It almost makes me not even want to... It really does. Makes me not even want to watch anymore. I'm not gonna fucking keep putting myself out there and expecting them to change the corner and turn the corner and do something different, shake things up, only for me to have my hopes dashed. Brock Lesnar let me down by having the type of match he had tonight. Although he did do a hell of a job selling, I'll give him that. He was very good at putting the big man over at the beginning of this match. And then it really just became about the Coquina Clutch versus the F5. And once he hit the F5, it was over, and it was just too quick. Too quick. And it took so much away from everything else. What else should we even fucking talk about? The 30-minute tag team match of boredom? Iron Man match where it was absolutely bored to fucking tears until about the last 5 minutes of the match, where it finally started to pick up a little bit. Matt Hardy gets busted open, and the fact that the most interesting part of this tag team match to me was the fact that Matt Hardy was making weird faces at the end, and that he might actually lead to being broken after this if their dispute with Impact has been finally settled, as rumors have been indicating. That's going to be the best thing to come out of this match. Otherwise, we didn't have a title change, which made me wrong, because I predicted we would, since Sheamus is going away in August, but maybe they're leaving that for some big moment on Raw. I don't fucking know anymore. I really, really don't. That whole segment, you either liked it or you didn't. I'm going to fall into I didn't like it. The fucking 30-minute Iron Man match, historic, all the overselling by the commentary team. I was just nauseated by it, and I was bored. I didn't see anything in this match that I haven't seen these two teams do in the last 2 months as they've been fighting since WrestleMania. So I'm just done with this as well. Hopefully this is over and we move on to some other different avenues they could explore with these teams. Because I'm done with it. It's fucking ridiculous. What else do I got? These are my notes. You want to see? It's one tiny fucking page with a few scribbles. That's it. Nothing, because this show was fucking garbage. I want to even throw these away, but I'll forget any of the shit that we still have to talk about here. And what do we have to talk about? Let's get this over with, because it's fucking ridiculous. We got, what do we have? Rollins and Bray Wyatt? Bray Wyatt wins this match. Why? Seth Rollins is the 2K18 cover boy. You just have this big announcement. You're making him look so great. He's supposed to be one of the top guys in the company, and then you go to Great Balls of Fire and you're watching him lose to the guy that can't win. What? Where is this going? I wanted this to be over as well. I feel like this is just beginning now, because Bray's going to get the win. Rollins is going to be the pissed little babyface that wants his revenge. Bray's going to keep talking nonsense that makes no sense. It's going to sound cool, but it's going to be absolute fucking gibberish, and it's going to mean nothing in the end. And we're going to be back at square one with this angle as well. Fuck that. I'm done with it. I'm over it. Enzo and Cass. Waste. Absolute waste of my time. It would have been much better for them to have had Enzo get some type of surprise victory over this guy, because everybody knew this was going to happen. Everybody had this ending. Why not throw a wrench in the system? Get Cass, a little heat by a post-match attack after Enzo, out of nowhere, scoops him up with a roll-up. Something nobody would expect. You give the rub to Enzo a little bit, get his character a little momentum, get him moving up a little bit, give him a little bit of cred, and Cass wouldn't have been hurt. He's the 7-foot monster in the situation. He can lose, especially if it's by some kind of trip up or something stupid like a count out or a disqualification, and Enzo gets the win, causing Cass to flip out and destroy Enzo. And then you prolong this feud and you blow it off at SummerSlam. And then you allow the two guys to go their separate ways. Why can I do this? Why can I think of these things and they can't? It just seems simple to me. But they can't put together a fucking decent pay-per-view, no matter how ridiculous the fucking name may be. What do I got left here? Ambrose and The Miz. Listen right now. This better have been the last time I've seen these two guys in the ring. I have never been more done with a wrestling angle in my life. This angle has made The Miz look fucking foolish. It has brought the Intercontinental Championship down. It has not elevated it. It was so much more pristine and prestigious, as The Miz likes to spout, when it was on SmackDown, because it was actually being booked properly. Not just Miz TV segment after Miz TV segment after stupid match, and now you have this stupid Miz Taraj, which I just don't like it. I just don't like it. I don't care. His little rant today on Raw Talk after the pay-per-view, I don't care about anything you have to say. This whole thing with you having them as your co-stars because you were in the Marine 5 together, it doesn't mean shit to me. Bo Dallas should be on SmackDown. Bray Wyatt should be on SmackDown. And the two of them should be establishing a new Wyatt family. Starting at the top with the two of them. Let them be the tag team champions. Run roughshod over the tag division for a while. Add new members. Maybe just bring fucking Luke Harper and Rowan back in because you're not doing anything with them anyway. But then you add in Bo Dallas to add a little newness to it, a little flavor to it, a little spice, a little Cajun seasoning. And you got fucking magic. Because Bo Dallas is great on the mic, just as good as Bray Wyatt is. Why they're holding back on that and they put him in a different faction with people that make no sense for him to be around, except for the fact that Curtis Axel was in the Social Outcasts with him once before. Why the fuck would The Miz want Social Outcasts in his entourage? Just because they impressed him on a movie set? Go away. I don't want to fucking see this anymore. And I don't want to see him versus Dean Ambrose. The lunatic cringe, because when I see him, that's what I do. I just cringe in my skin because he's just so stale and boring right now. Dean Ambrose needs to wake up and snap for real. This lunatic fringe character that they have him playing that's not really allowed to be a lunatic, but, you know, he's just kind of crazy. You know, this needs to be tweaked. It needs to be changed up. Something needs to be done to freshen up Dean Ambrose. One of the best things they could do is reunite the Shield and try to start over from scratch because you've fucked up all three of these guys since then. Once you broke up the Shield, everybody started off red hot and each one of their fires have died. Although you seem to think that they're all burning bright. But the three former members of the Shield all need a reboot. Not just Roman. Seth, Dean, and Roman all need to be reshuffled. All need to be reconfigured and start over from scratch. Because everything you've done to this point has made all three of them absolute boring wastes of time. Nothing they could do has impressed me. And it's just over for the three of them right now. Best thing you could do, bring the Shield back together. I'd be all for it. I'd love them again. Because that's when I loved them the first time. I liked Roman Reigns then. And that's what we did wrong, guys. As fans, we showed Vince, hey, we like this guy. He already had big plans for him. And he saw that we were all digging the big guy from the Shield, and they broke up the Shield and just shot Roman to the stars. Pushed Seth and Dean to the side for a little while, and then tried to go with them. And it failed in both cases. I don't know what else I could say, except I know what should be done with The Miz right now. Like I said, I listened to him talking trash on Raw Talk, and he went out and laid out an open challenge for the Intercontinental Championship. He says, anybody back there who wants to step up and challenge me for this belt, go on and do it. And my biggest hope, and I know I'm giving them too much credit, and I'm booking it better, as I normally do, is that Finn Balor comes out tomorrow night with Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson. Forms the Balor Club, finally, and then goes one-on-one with the Miz Taraj. You have faction warfare, you let that play out, maybe get the tag team titles involved. Why not? I think it would be great. That would be the only way this Miz Taraj thing is going to work. You got to give them a face group to work against, another team for Axel and Dallas to play off of. Have fun with it. You don't have to bring a woman to be opposed to Maurice because she's just going to stand outside and do nothing anyway. So that's exactly what I would do, given the scenario. You're going to need a shot in the arm tomorrow night, especially after this. The best thing you could do is even give Finn Balor the Intercontinental Championship tomorrow night, thanks to the help of the Bullet Club stopping the Miz Taraj from getting involved, or something of that nature. Cause a big splash, because tonight you just laid a wet fart. That's all I could say. The rest of the show, there was no rest of the show. I think we covered everything. I don't understand why Samoa Joe and Brock Lesnar got their own pre-show match in I keep doing that. Kurt Hawkins and Heath Slater. Who the fuck cared? Did you care? Let me know in the comments below, because I didn't care. And it makes me angry that I actually gave them the benefit of the doubt. I'm like, you know what? This card, when I looked it over before the pre-show, I was like, this is a pretty good card. This might be a good show. And every time I give them the benefit of the doubt, they shove a fucking steel rod up my ass and say, here, take this. And we made it nice and hot, too, so it burns. And you're going to feel the sting for a few days. It's going to even make you hurt to be a wrestling fan. That's what it feels like right now. It's hurt. Hurt. Pain. Burned. That's how I feel. Or burnt. However you want to say it. I've been burnt by these great balls of fire. And I'm now officially out of energy. As we are going way past the midnight hour right now. And as I said, I've been up since 5 a.m. yesterday. And this day, this pay-per-view, definitely was not worth it. And I am not looking forward to tomorrow night. And neither should you. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining me on this very fucking boring fucking show. Not my show. Great balls of fire. That's how tired I am. I don't even know what I'm talking about. So let's sign off and get on out of here. Don't forget to smash that thumbs up for this guy for giving you my all in my tired state. Like this video. Share it with your friends. Don't forget, if you haven't already, to join the legion of subscribers that we have gotten this week. And if you are among one of those who have subscribed this weekend, coming off the back of my last breaking news video about Austin Aries and AJ Styles, I want to say thank you, motherfuckers. You guys rule, you bastards. And I love each and every one of you. I am Nick Nightmare. With me, as always, Blueski, the snowball microphone. God, I don't want to talk about balls ever again. Thank you so much, and I am out of here. We'll see you next time, right here on the very tired Sledgehammer Wrestling Show. Peace out.